how AI generated content performed in a 16-month experience in Google search. This is what everyone's asking with ChatGPT, with Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, with all of these. You can just pump out articles like never before, and I can just upload those to my website, and I'm sure it'll rank. Not necessarily the case. Not necessarily the case. At the end of the day, Google's business model as a search engine is to still pull the most relevant, most useful, most trustworthy, EEAT, most trustworthy content and push it in front of their users. So, big questions that we're all asking. Google index most of these pages quickly, but without authority, unique insight, or trust signals. Again, EEAT. And the ranking collapsed within months. So this is a brand new website. This website had no previous authority before, right? And this is across, several different industries for a wide array. And they posted for 16 months just using AI content, auto-generated, auto-published as is. There was no human editors, there's no human intervention. Obviously, they put in a lot of background research or RAG into the AI itself. So that would be SEO optimized, so that it was around certain focus keywords. So it's not that the article itself isn't able to rank. It was that after a while, and you really see it right here, I want to focus on this. After a while, the growth was large, but then it dropped. It just dropped like a lead balloon. And that was a turning point. And then after a while, it was almost non existent. So, what does this tell me? This tells me, long story short, this tells me that Google prioritized this content. It ranked well. It served a purpose. It gave amazing information, probably will, because it's from AI, gave amazing information to the user. It pushed the user to it, tested it, but it found that after the user arrived and after they were looking at the content, the user did not trust that the content had any more value other than that, right? There was nothing that told the user who the author was, what the business does, what the website's purpose is for. It was like a fake business, right? And when we talk about trust signals, when we talk about EEAT, this is the equivalent of you asking somebody to paint your house, right? And you trying to figure out if the guy that you're talking to is a solo dude who runs his shop out of his house, who just hires his cousins to do paint jobs, and he maybe does 5 paint jobs a year, or if you're talking to a legitimate business that has employees, that has tax returns, that has an office and a location, that has a warehouse, has connections to get the best paint, and at the end of the day, that you can trust them, right? That if they mess up, they can make good on it. So that's sort of the difference. Everyone is trying to figure out online. It's like, is this something I can trust? Is this something that I know I'm not just like fluttering my money away into the ether, or can I actually double down on this? And so when you're thinking about generating AI content, it's not the content that's the problem. The content's good, right? I mean, it says right here, like here are all of the niches that they double down on. And the indexing happened immediately. The impressions started coming in immediately. Google categorized these, they index them, they started pushing them to the users. We even got clicks, right? But after a while, right, you had a peak after 3 months, right? Google basically gave this content 3 months and said, if you don't enhance this content, if you don't add authority, if you don't add trust signals, if you don't add an author bio, a video, if you don't add an about us page, if you don't add FAQs, if you don't consistently update the content, if you don't have your socials connected to it, if you don't prove that you're not just copy and pasting ChatGPT and just putting it on your website, or at least have it edited by some type of human, then we're going to devalue and derank you, right? Because at the end of the day, there is content that's being pushed online, right, in mass, but there is a human editing it, updating it, working on the site. This is search engine optimization, right? Or AEO or GEO, right? Whatever terms you want to use, or ranking the LLMs. At the end of the day, Google and the internet still prioritizes trust signals. So the ranking really collapsed, like I said, in month 3 to 6. Only 3% of pages remained in the top 100, down from 28%. So again, the content went up, the content started ranking, but without a human behind it, without a person who understands SEO behind it, started tanking, right? That's the long-term picture. So it ran for over a year to see if the rankings would recover. You can't say, well, everyone sees a spike in the content and then eventually it goes down because competition comes in. Nope. It saw a spike and it only went downhill from there. You see that right here? It only went downhill from there. So you can't make the argument that publishing AI content will get the job done, because it just won't, right? And this is why I typically see all the time working with 300 plus marketing agencies. I see clients, I see agency partners saying, well, our SEO is good. We got it up there, right? We're fine. Look at these numbers. Numbers go up. This is great. Yeah, but without continued optimization, continued involvement, right, on your website, you're telling Google that there's a lack of trust there. You're telling Google that no one's monitoring the website. No one's at home, right? No one's at the front desk. So Google is now going to start deprioritizing your content as a result. Google already acts like this is nothing special with the advent of AI, right? We are just now able to push gobs and gobs of content at lightning speed, faster than we've ever been able to do before. But the SEO visibility doesn't last. So, what does that mean for us as marketers? It is our responsibility to use content generated by AI wisely, right? This is the new norm, right? We have to be posting at least something every single month on our website, updating it, editing it. And if we don't, we're telling Google that there's a lack of trust there, that there's no one home, right? And therefore your site will eventually start to derank. And that is the problem. That's a problem. So don't just mass post AI content. You need a team that edits it, right? So this is the problem. AI content is good only if it has a human editor and a human element that is constantly updating that content, that is constantly creating new content, that is updating the website and building on those EEAT trust signals. Again, my name is Zach, and at the end of the day, I'm just a marketer trying to help other marketers. And I hope that this served you well. This is a amazing resource by Search Engine Land. They take all the credit for doing this experiment. And I think this is something that everybody should go and check out. It's going to be linked down below. And again, if you need help with some white label SEO services, if you want somebody who understands this stuff, I have a whole team of people that does this for 300 plus other marketing agencies. Have a good one.